Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you guys so much for joining me. It is another wonderful evening and we are here to have a very important conversation. Um, Look at coconut water. Shout out to coconut water for keeping me in check when I do silliness and upload the wrong video and call it something else. Thank you so much for that to coconut water. If you guys are in tune to my channel and you have any comments or want to have a shout out, please make sure to leave a comment in the description. I will be starting next week to respond via video to some of the questions that you guys have been asking. I know I started to respond to how my husband and I met or how I ended up in Germany, and I will be having another conversation. I think I have something on my channel already. I will probably leave that in the description as to like how we met. The details of that funny story. So anyways, let's get into this video because it's important and I don't want to waste any more of your time having the introductory process. So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite shows. And this is going to be a three-part series, so let's just get into it, called Being Mary Jane. Now, this, I think I talked about this on Facebook. Being Mary Jane was it was a series that was about a young lady, and as soon as I learn how to edit videos and respond and leave clips, I will leave a clip to the film to the series in my one of my videos. I'm going to ask a friend to help me out with that. But if you don't know about this series, this is about a woman who is a journalist who is a boss bae, and she's basically trying to find love and deal with some of her issues, right? I could identify a lot with her at the time that I was watching this series, but now that I'm a married woman with children, I find this kind of content and media to be very, very disturbing and very misleading to women, especially Black women. But the more I live in Europe, the more I start to realize that there is not much difference between the struggles that women, modern women, go through. And I throw myself into that category of modern woman because the things that I thought back then were very much, now I can see, detrimental to me wanting to even come close to even admitting that what I really wanted was to have a family and be in a family way. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is how media affects people's perception and judgment when it comes to what it is that we want, what is reality, and what is like science fiction fantasy. And I say this with no malice in my heart because I can understand why this type of content is so popular and so addictive because it's so relatable. You know, it's very tempting to be a type of person or to find admiration in a bit in a Mary Jane who has seemingly everything that she needs and wants, but the very thing that she seems all consuming about, which is a healthy, happy relationship. And it is very tricky in the plot revelation because I'm not going to spoil it in this video for you, but she goes through a lot of emotions and deals with them extremely poorly. Not only is it evident that she has some serious emotional and mental issues, but it is almost glorified that that is just a part of being a successful woman. Ladies, please be warned, this is not what success looks like. And even though in some ways she seems to always come out on top or seem to figure things out, so many of us can relate to the burdensome nature of the kind of relationships we are forced to have with those people around us who are there generally to protect and to have our best interests at heart. Mary Jane has no real friends, and the only friends that she has, she either pushes away because they're telling her the truth that she needs to hear, not what she wants to hear, but what she needs to hear. And it is an issue for her to hear the truth because she would much rather blame someone else for the fact that she is unhappy at her core and doesn't have her stuff together. All she would have had to have done in her Oh, whew, a couple of scenes are coming to my mind right now. All she would have had to have done, and of course, that wouldn't make for very good content, nor would it make for a realistic plot line. But all she would, I think that this is the issue that I have with modern media as it comes to Black representation in the media, is that we are being echo chambered into a lifestyle and a way of being that is not beneficial and is harming us as women. And it's not mutually exclusive to Black women, but I do seem to identify very heavily with the Black female narrative, angry Black woman or burdened Black woman or boss bae, just single as F and blaming everybody else for that and seeing no sense of awareness in our participation in our own demise. And instead of media actually, and shout out to my girl, the director, I can't remember her name now, a very popular artist, actress in the 80s and 90s. I really do like her, and I like her work that she done with Boondocks. If it's the same director, I'm not sure. She probably gave the script to somebody else, but I digress. This issue is a major problem for Black women being marketed to in such a way that is actually just making us worse. I'm not sure if it's like just a thing that is easy to sell, and if we were told the truth, we would probably not listen. Because I have had this discussion with women in my own life. Like, if I told you the truth, would you actually listen? Was a literal question that was asked to me once. And I kept saying to that person, yeah, of course I would have listened. But in honesty, I think that there's too much Mary Jane-ness going on in our environment that would even allow me to even consider the fact that, hey, you are out of order. You are complete Mary Jane and her behavior in this series, as are many others like her in movies that we gobble up and consume, are plain up, straight up out of order. And I don't know if we will ever get to a place in media, because it is considered super inappropriate now, misogynistic and, just patriarchal, to say some of the things that women absolutely 100% need to hear. If we'll ever get back to that place where people can actually start to talk about these things from a healthy perspective. There was one episode, and I will talk more about this if you haven't seen the series, sorry for the spoiler, where Mary Jane was wetting the bed. A 30 something, like past 35-year-old woman wetting the bed is a serious medical, mental issue. Do you think that she ever, because I had to stop, I was rewatching the whole series recently here in Germany, and I had to stop because I cannot identify with this psychosis anymore. Up until the time that I had watched it, she did not seek, and she has a friend that is a psychiatrist, medical attention, mental health, you know, mental health professional at all. Not once did she see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Not once. And she has one as a friend. And her friend told her that she needs rest. And you know what she told that friend? Child, we're going to get into that in my next episode, but let me just tell you guys something. You are doing yourselves no favors by consuming content that feels good to where you are right now. If you are not learning and growing in the content, because art used to imitate life and now life is imitating art, right? We see this stuff and we think that that's how the world is and that's how life is, and it is not. Show me one Mary Jane who is happy. And if you haven't seen the series, as I said before, you will be horridly surprised at the unrealistic ending of how this series ends. Don't waste your time to go watch it like I did, because I was in my feelings and I wanted to be soothed into some guy did me wrong. No, baby, you chose this guy. What is it about us that is making us turn to these situation scenarios and drama constantly and not being able to have peace? Like, she seems like she has her stuff together, but she absolutely 100% does not have her stuff together. Don't be her. Get her stuff together and do the opposite of what Mary Jane did. Now, I'm going to get into this topic a little bit more in detail. I'm going to probably dedicate a couple of series to this particular topic on my Patreon, but I want to allude to this and see you guys let me know in the comment section down below if this is something that is interesting to you, if you want us to continue having this conversation. But I really believe that it is something that we need to divulge into more, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. So if you can, please stay safe and stay free.